We've just intercepted this pod of dolphins. We're crossing paths. I'd say there's about 150 or maybe 200 dolphins in this group. Once again, they seem somewhat oblivious to us. And they have their own agenda, so they're not just taking a ride on our bow or anything. We've seen this group for the last 20 minutes or so off in the distance. When you see a big group like this in the distance, you see the splashing of their little dives. We are on our way to Puerto Escondido, which is about in there. That's the bottom of Isla Carmen. We've been switching back and forth between power and sail because of concerns over engine cooling. So we're running at a real low RPM, 1400. And we've gone off and on about 6 different times. The windy.com was showing a dead spot in this zone, and then actually pretty strong winds after we go around the bottom of Isla Carmen and then turn and go on a reach across the wind. They're jumping over here, but I don't think we're going to get that much wind. So that's looking down the Baja coast, Isla Montserrat on the left, and that's the Gigante range up along here. And this may be our furthest south point because we have to have a mechanic look at our engine and help us with, oh, there, I can see them down there. Help us with our engine problems. So if we need something like parts, it could even be something like weeks, but alright, that's the tail end of the group. These are probably youngsters that are over here messing around with us. But the pod goes all the way from there to back there. Whoa, that guy's zooming around. I hope the rigging doesn't throw off the focus, but these guys can be really zippy when they want to be. Alright, home stretch. Things got a little lively there for a minute. We have a few broken dishes on the floor. There's Isla Carmen. The wind was actually from almost the opposite direction as we came past the southern end of that. But the wind forecast was right on the money, and this was supposed to be 8 knots, but it's more like 13, 14, I would say. I saw the white caps, saw it coming, reefed the main. The jib's already small enough to be considered reefed. That's Isla Danzante. We really only had to clear that point, but we had more power than we wanted with this sail configuration. And so I'm still heading upwind. Wind's coming from there, and when we get roughly halfway across the channel, I'm thinking we'll turn and go downwind, and that should ease the pressure on the sails by when you go downwind you have less apparent wind, so that's less power on the sails. That ketch has 4 sails up. That's pretty good. Those guys look like they know what they're doing. They're totally powered up. They've got a little bit of reefing in the main, and then they have a sort of a small jib, I'd say. Yeah, it's a furling jib. They're honking. So interesting to have seen this in advance with the wind forecast, and to for once have it actually be accurate. There's the plates on the floor. Boo-hoo. There was also another big thump that we heard that we, I think, never identified.
Just the settling or something.
I've got the main pretty much all the way out. Yeah, it just started to ease up a bit. Those guys may realize there's more wind in a second. So I also felt clever because Wendy showed this eddy down in that low part of the island, and I headed upwind while we were motoring down there in the calm, and reefed the main when I caught sight of the whitecaps out here. So well in advance, when it was easy, I put in that much of a reef, and you can see the salt spray on the windshield there. We're taking spray over the side here, and we both kind of ducked for cover. But pretty brief, and depowered it with letting the main out. You sure there's nothing else down there? That cupboard door is closed now, right? All right. So again, just before I close out here, I'll mention that we made a big point of sailing as much as possible today, and actually going out on a day when they were predicting strong winds, because we've got engine troubles that seems to be tolerant of going as slow as we can go without boiling over coolant into the overflow tank and then overflowing that.
Wait, someone's calling us.
Short video coming into Puerto Escondido, which is behind that rock that sort of looks like an island and almost is. It's this amazing port that is very enclosed, just has a small entry in the south end that we're headed for now. There's Isla Danzante, Isla Carmen in the background that we came from. It was quite windy out here for a while, and now we would put up more sail now, except that we don't just have to pull it back in about 15 minutes. So I just left it out and we're going slow.